All right, we are back to explain the second season and the final season of Arcane. Very fun.
It is the last one.
Yes, there's only 2 seasons. And
that's sad.
Yeah, they might do spin-offs on other characters, but most of these characters, they're done. Do we remember where we left off at all?
I feel like maybe a little.
Okay. Do you remember Jinx, sending a nuclear bomb, basically, to the council room to kill everybody?
Yes, and that's where it ends off, is with,
yeah,
shooting towards the window, right?
Absolutely insane. Okay. So, one could think, this has blown up multiple buildings so far. This has killed multiple characters. So, everyone in that council room is fucked, basically.
Yeah.
And the first episode, it opens, and somehow Mel and the beautiful goddess woman, who was a councilwoman.
She's a baddie.
Yeah. And Jace, our little buddy, who is kind of at fault for all of this because he found the crystals in the first place, but they're the only 2 people alive somehow. And there's there's one man that's he was crushed by a pillar and he's almost about to die. His legs are totally gone.
Yeah, he's not gonna make it.
Yeah. And everyone else, I want to say there was maybe 10 other people on the council, and Victor was there. And
kill Victor.
Yeah, so they're all dead. So we're from Jace's perspective. He's looking around really confused. Somehow him and Mel are perfectly fine. Yeah, and it was headed straight, it hit directly into that room. And so he grabs Victor's body, and it's Victor is a frail Victorian child. He was not going to survive anyway, because he was already coughing up blood and had a turmoil illness? Anyway. But basically, so Jace grabs his body and he brings them into their studio, and he's trying to save him, and it's he's dead. And all of a sudden he notices that that little their little hex core, which is looks like a little floating atom that has magic and spiderwebs and rainbow and all of that fun stuff, it starts reaching to Victor. And from last season, we remembered that Victor had to go and touch it, and it started taking some of his blood, and they have a weird connection now. And so Jace kind of sees this, and he's oh, okay, I guess I'll just give Victor up to this and help it, and if it's gonna save his life. Completely ignoring the fact that last season, but really it was the episode before, Victor had just said, I need you to destroy the hex core because I'm not going to be able to. And he promised Victor that he would do that.
It's I'll take care of that, man.
Yeah. He said, I would destroy it. Now, my view, some people are oh my god, he broke his promise. My view is if my best friend is dead, that wasn't the promise. He didn't know that, Victor didn't say that him and the hex core had a connection. He just said, you need to destroy this. So, if
he could destroy it after he brought him back.
Literally, if I'm in this moment now, and I'm not remembering some promise I made to you a few weeks ago, or, a few days ago, I'm gonna be oh my god, I need to save your life right now.
Slightly in shock, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, the only thing going through your head is, I need to save my best friend.
Yeah.
Or lover, as someone. Or, because they're gay. No.
I think about that a lot.
And, yeah, so I'm just, I don't really care, that he technically broke his promise. However, when Victor wakes up, he's now, you can see physical changes that, the hex core has, spider-webbed its magic all around his body. And he has, these weird... You gotta look it up at some point. It's, the hex core does some weird stuff. And, yeah, and it looks picture, when people draw and it's, the bones and then the muscles and then the skin. It's, the muscles, but if the muscles were, rainbow. And...
That's like a fish?
It's It's a little weird. Anyway, there's multiple different versions. Like, Victor keeps changing, so you might not get... Look up, like, I don't even know, Victor beginning of season 2. But it's like, he has obviously changes. Like, it's like the Hex-Core brought him back. And he immediately is, like, really upset with Jace. And he says, like, you promised to destroy it. Like, I can't stay here anymore. Like, and it's really funny because Jace is like, he's about to be like, he's like, yeah, okay. And then he's like, because Victor goes, I need to leave. And Jace is like, okay. And then he goes, no, I need to leave you. And Jace is like, he's like, wait, what? That's not, I just saved your life though. Like, and yeah, so Victor leaves and we don't see him for a few episodes and we're like, oh, that's a little worrisome.
Does he have hate in his heart?
No, but it's like, he is seeming like, it's just a weird aura. Like, it's not the same Victor. He's kind of seeming like, he was, like, enlightened a little bit. Like, he's walking, like, he just, like, obviously seems like he died and now came back to life and he has more knowledge than everyone else and it's very weird. And so, yeah, so he goes off and we don't see him, like, for a little, and you're just like, oh, I wonder what happened there. And we do get, like, a little... We start, like, seeing these weird clips at the end of each episode that's, like, to this weird-ass doctor in the Undercity. And he, like, has these tanks with a bunch of, like, animals in fluid, and it's, like, really weird. Yeah, you're just like, okay. And then he has, like, this giant monster, that's, like, hung up and is, I don't think it's floating, but it's, like, he has it strung up, and it has a bunch of, like, tubes and stuff going in it. And, like...
scientist man?
Huh?
He's, like, a freaking little scientist man.
Yeah, it's just... He's weird, okay? I don't even really remember his name. I just hate him.
Valid.
And...
So, later.
So, yeah. And then, I'm trying to think what else is going on. So, over in Piltover, there's a lot of issues because, like Silco was like their leader and now he's dead, so then it's like and like a bunch of people like below him are now being like, well, who's gonna be the next leader? And there's like what his like right hand man, but like right hand woman, very hot, you would like her. She's kind of like she's trying to get Jinx to like pull herself together because she's like, the people of Piltover like looked up to Silco, like they could look up to you, like it's kind of, but like obviously Jinx doesn't really want that.
And is also insane.
Yeah, because she's not even saying like Jinx would be good at it. She's just saying like, she's like, people for some reason, like,
like they look up to you.
Yeah, and I'm like, I think Caitlyn and Vi do go back to, no, this is an issue. So, they head back to the city, and Caitlyn's mom was on the council. Caitlyn's mother is now dead. And she was not one of the ones that survived the bomb. And
just being romance.
Yeah, and it's really upsetting. There's a whole funeral scene. It's very sad. And then I want to say like during a the whole city is like coming together to have like a moment to memorialize like more 95% of their politicians that just died. And you're like, oh.
That person thinks that happened to us, and then be like, thank God.
Right now, yeah, but it's like they actually liked these guys.
Yeah.
And so one could say this is like their 9/11.
I'm sorry, it's so good.
So anyway, so at this memorial, a bunch of people from the Undercity, like a bunch of high up people, get in and they start killing people. They start fighting.
What?
And you find out that the one like leading that is the mother of the child that Jace accidentally killed. Remember that?
What?
When him and Vi decided to go on their little trip to the Undercity. And the Undercity is also Zon, by the way. The Undercity is just like also what they kind of like when you say like the red district, like you're like,
Yeah, okay, so they're their own little...
Yeah, it's just, the Undercity is just, like, slang, but, like, the actual name is on. And, yeah, last season when he accidentally killed a child, that
on purpose.
Not really, yeah. Except, like, during that argument, I just saw an edit of this the other day, and I was like, damn, I should have mentioned this. Where, like, Vi has such a good point, because when he kills that child, he starts, like, immediately, he's like, oh my god, this entire thing has to stop. Like, this entire, like, raid on, like, the, I think they were raiding, the, like, shimmer drug coming in, and, like,
oh, yeah.
He was like, oh, ruling with an iron fist, I have to stop. And Vi, I'm gonna, like, butcher it, but she basically is, like, she's like, this is one child. Do you know how many children and parents have been killed because of like your people for centuries? Like, you think one child is bad? Think of all the other ones that you guys have killed. This is just the first one that you're seeing firsthand, and you're like, oh yeah, pop off, queen.
For you.
So yeah, so she's really pissed off because she's like, literally, you get your hands dirty for like 1 second and you back off, but you're okay sending like troops down here to do stuff for you. Which, like, I will say, it wasn't like, Jace has been a councilman for maybe a month. Like, it's like he's really not, like, it's not him specifically. Like, yeah, she's like, your people. It wasn't really him. Yeah. So then, at some point, I'm actually kind of blanking on why they have a falling out. I know that at some point, Caitlyn wants Vi to join the like, police force, basically, and Vi obviously has very not great feelings about this, because she's like, oh no, like, she's like, you people have, like, attacked my people for my entire life, like, why would I want to do that? But then, like, after the attack on
also, she's in prison.
Yeah, somehow she's out of prison now, I guess. Nobody's really checking. They're in a lot of havoc at the moment.
There's more important things to do.
Yeah. And, like, but she does join for a little while, because she, like, talks them, like, after the memorial attack, she's like, oh, I just want to, like, help people, and I want to be able to, like, go and do what I want, and, like, I can get weapons and, like, all of that. So she's like, all right, fine. And she joins for a little while. Yeah. And she doesn't really like them, but it's just like, sure. And so she joins for a little while, and then, like, for the life of me, I can't really remember exactly why they have a falling out, but, like, somehow there's a falling out. And Jinx also sees that Vi has joined the Enforcers, which is, like, insane. Yeah, this is, like, basically, like, the ultimate, like, it was, like, that's the reason their parents are dead, like, are the Enforcers. Like, that's the reason that most people they know are dead. Like, that's awful. Anyway, but somehow Vi and Caitlyn have a falling out, and they already were kind of on rocky terms, because it's, like, Caitlyn, now has, like, a huge vendetta against Jinx, because it's, like, Jinx killed her mom. But also, it's, like, every kid in the Undercity has had their parents be killed by, like, the Enforcers or these people, and it's like, yeah, we all grew up without parents. Like, I'm sorry you lost one of your amazing parents, but, like, we grew up as orphans.
You know, in hell. But...
yeah, so it's just, like, kind of like, okay, boo-hoo. Gone.
Which is, I think, is valid to say.
Yeah. And somehow they have a falling out for some reason. And, like, they stop talking. And then I know I'm planning to send this to my friend Riven so that they can comment every time I get stuff wrong. And this is going to bother them so much. If they actually listen, they're going to get to this part and be like, you don't remember? And I'm going to be like, a lot happened, okay?
Like, it's a busy season.
Yeah, and then, I'm trying to think what else happens, because there's a really big time jump, and, like, between a lot of stuff happening.
Or no?
Huh?
Is it multiple years, or no?
As in, I think 1 year.
Okay.
It's not huge, but it's, like, sometimes it feels, yeah, I'm just like, what just happened? So then, like, oh my goodness. Okay, so then Mel's mother shows up, and a lot of people are like, wow, she's the hottest woman ever, and it's like,
I can believe it.
she truly muscle mommy, but, like, she's also just so fucking annoying, so it's like, I personally couldn't find her hot. But she shows up, and you kind of find out that, like, Mel's family was, like, she's in charge of a kingdom. Like, her mom is a queen, basically. And, Mel was, like, sent away. Like, she was kind of, like, banished to Piltover. And then she, like, made her own name for herself and everything. And now her mom is showing up because she's like, hey, I found out you guys had magic.
Wait, why'd they kick her out?
We don't, like, it's pretty much because, like, her mom thought she was, like, really weak and that she wasn't gonna be, like, able to have the crown or something.
That's so mean.
Yeah, but now her mom is like, hey, you guys have magic and you actually have, like, a flourishing, economy and, like, a good trade, and you mind if I just take that?
Okay. The way I'd be so mad.
Yeah, and Mel is obviously very pissed off, and she's like, no, you can't have that.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
But then Mel is just hanging out in her room one day, and all of a sudden this, like, sorceress materializes behind her and fucking kidnaps her. And Mel disappears. And you're like, oh, okay, is she dead?
It might need a break.
We don't know. And then at the same time, do we remember our man Echo from the Undercity? He was Jinx's friend as a child, and now he's an adult, and now he's hot too. Everyone is hot. And so he's in the Undercity. He has, like, his entire little, like they have, like, a little secret community, and they have, like, a huge tree house, and it's adorable. So he's at his, like, giant tree. And he notices that it has some, like, weird spider webs on it. And we know that it's the Hex Core.
And this is a year later.
No, we haven't jumped the year yet. I'm just leading up to, the year, jump. And he notices that there's, like, spiderweb stuff all over, and you're like, oh, that's not good. And he runs into, Heimerdinger, which was that, like, the little rodent guy that was in charge of the council, and he basically built Piltover, and then Jason Mel, like, kind of overthrew him a little bit and kicked him out of the council. Okay. Yeah, and he's now down in Zon because he's like, I've just given up on everything, you know?
Probably out.
Yeah. So, he runs into Echo, and Echo is like, oh, you're, like, really smart. Can you come look at this tree? And he's looking at it, and then he's like, oh, no, I think I know what this is. And...
What would be my reaction? I mean...
Yeah. So they break back... They go to Piltover, and they break into, like, Jace and Victor's studio. And Jace, like, runs into them there, and he's like, what are you doing here? Blah, 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 blah. And they're like, we have to check the Hex Core, like, it's spreading, like, I don't understand. And they realize that because their studio is underground, and there's, like, a ton of really old, like, sewers that go to, and, like, pipes, and basically everything in Piltover kind of washes into Zon, and they realize that, like, yeah, the Hex Core has been seeping into the earth and has found its way all the way to Zon, and is now affecting Echo's tree. And so they go over to where the Hex Core was, because it used to just be kind of, like, floating in this room, and it used to be just, like, the size of maybe, like a baseball, and it was, like, slowly growing, and the last time we saw it, maybe it was, like, a soccer ball. They opened this room. Now picture a house size Hex Core. Picture the largest. It is completely filling this. It is ginormous.
That's so scary.
It's
what the fuck?
So bad. So if you walked into that, what would, like, your first reaction be to do?
I don't know, walk out?
Would it be to touch it?
No.
Can you imagine that last season we had Victor who had to touch it, and this season his partner in crime, Jace, just
why is that the first thing that gets in your head? 'Cause
I
I'm like,
I
that's
don't
scary.
know,
That's
but he
funny.
touches it, and all of a sudden, him and Echo and Heimerdinger all just get like sucked into it.
No, you're kidding.
Yeah, and then we get a little shift to see down in Zon that Victor has made his way.
I want to know what had happened.
Victor has made his way down there, and he's talking to some people that had been like addicted to Shimmer, and it's like it like eats away your face, like it's not good. Yeah, and
Don't do drugs.
so he was like talking to them, and all of a sudden he like touches their forehead, and it like
Hello.
clears them of the disease.
Like Jesus.
Like Jesus. And I need you to imagine that he has a cane, because he's always had a cane, because he always had like a limp. But also he's wearing a blanket that Jace had put over him when he was like dying. And it's this blue blanket. He carries this blanket with him the rest of the show. And it's so funny. But so he's wearing this blanket, he has a cane or staff, one could say, and he's touching someone and healing them.
Like a wizard?
Like Jesus. It says really timely, because it was just Easter. Yeah.
Like a
Yeah.
topical.
And then that's where the episode ends, and you're like, okay, don't really know what happened there. And then the next one starts, and it's a year later, and nobody has seen Mel or Jace or Echo or Heimerdinger for a year. Everyone thinks they're dead.
I'd be sick.
Yeah, it's a little worrisome, one could say.
I'm worried.
Yeah, we see Jinx, and like she's just doing her little like vigilante stuff. She's fun. She runs into this child named Isha, super cute, probably like, honestly I don't know how old she's supposed to be, maybe like 8 or 9. She's really tiny.
Just like pause for a second. You're like,
I was gonna say 5, and then I was like, no, that's just based on height. No, she's definitely older than that, maybe like 9. And she's definitely supposed to represent, like, Jinx's, like, younger, like, when she was still Powder, like, when she was a kid. And, because it's just this, like, innocent kid who, like, lost their whole family in, the Undercity, and, yeah, it's definitely sad. So, Jinx, like, Jinx starts, like, hanging out with her a lot, and taking care of her, and she basically starts, like, being kind of, like, a mother to this little girl. And it's so cute. And at one point, she, like, dyes her hair blue to match her hair.
It's so cute. What the fuck?
Absolutely adorable. And she also, like, this kid is kind of keeping her, like, sane a little bit.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the people of the Undercity are really, like, wanting to, like, wage another war against, Piltover. Because they're just, like, they're so done with all of this shit.
I mean, everyone's dying. You're
yeah.
basically just like Orphan City over here.
Yeah.
Like,
and the Enforcers have been, like, coming into the city still trying to find Jinx or the people that have, like, done all of these terrorism attacks. And in the process, they're, like, gassing everyone in the city to try and, like, find the people that, yeah.
their future.
Yeah. So now they gas innocent people. And who is leading these charges?
Oh, God.
Our girl, Caitlyn, who's now the captain of the guard.
What
and
the
now,
fuck? I liked her.
low-key, like,
Evil?
a, like, tyrannical, oh, that's not the word,
Tyrannical?
tyrannical leader, yeah.
I might be wrong, don't take my word for it.
Because who was there when every other leader disappeared, basically, because Jace and Mel aren't there anymore, in Piltover, but Mel's mother. And Mel's mother did want to take, like, she literally came here to take over.
I hate that hoe.
Yeah. But also it's like, her kingdom is based off of, like, fighting and strength and, like, yeah, like, her entire point, and that was the whole issue with Mel, was that Mel was like, no, we need to be nice to people, we need to treat people, yeah, and her mom was like, no, you just kill them, that's how you get the things, like, that you want in life, So, yeah, definitely annoying. And so she took in Caitlyn, basically, and it's like, this woman wanted a daughter that she couldn't have in Mel, and Caitlyn just lost her mother. So who better to mold her into the perfect little, like, death-hungry war machine than Mel's mother over here? Woo!
Crazy.
Yeah, so now Caitlyn is, like, Mel's mom is in charge, but Caitlyn's, like, in charge of the whole military, and she's, definitely crazy. And, like, she is okay with, like, killing a bunch of people, and she's, like, in charge of all the police, basically, and it's just not a great vibe. And you can imagine that, like, a lot of fans don't really like her for this.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, basically every character in this, other than Echo, you could find both sides on the internet. Like, there are people that love them, and there are people that hate them. Because that's the whole point of the show, is that, like, neither side is good. And, like, there's no one you can really root for.
Echo, who's a sweet king.
Huh?
I said other than Echo, who's our sweet king.
Yeah, no, Echo literally has never done anything wrong.
Like, not him.
And so, yeah, so that's just really not good. And they have just been, like, being the worst. Like, they've literally been, like, gassing people in the Undercity and, like, torturing people, and it's just, and, like, taking people in, like, anyone who doesn't come forward or anyone who's fighting back at all, they're, like, taken into prison, and it's just, like, a whole issue. And the lady who was Silco's, like, right-hand man, she's, like, telling Jinx, like, the people of Zaun are, like, losing they're losing, like, confidence and, like, strength in this battle, and, like, you need to get out there and be, like, a spokesperson, or you just need to, like, be, because it's, like, yeah, like, she's already done so many things to affect, Piltover, good and bad, mostly bad.
She's had her impacts.
Yeah, and so it's, like, that people kind of look up to her, because it's, like, she's the only one that's been able to, like, hurt them, so even though she's crazy, like, people kind of are like she's a little bit of a symbol, and so they're trying to get her to, like, go out there, but she really does not want to. She's like, please just leave me alone.
She does not seem like the type, but...
yeah, and she just, like, I know it was like a year ago, but it's like she did kind of just lose Silco. Like, it's like she doesn't really know what she's doing in life anymore.
It's her dad. I feel like a year isn't that long.
Yeah, like, she just, and also she's having fun with this new kid. Like, she's turning a new leaf. She doesn't really care about the war right now. And yeah, they're hanging out in, like, her little home, like, craft station bunker is so cool. It's, like, in a ravine with, like, this giant, I mean, basically, like a fan. I'm trying to even, it's like a, oh my god, like a hot air balloon, but, like, instead of a fire thing at the bottom, it has, like, it's like a fan, and it has, like, the little, like, spokes and stuff, but it's been, like, lodged in a ravine, so she lives on, like, and it's giant, and so her, like, whole little hideout is, like, on the, like, fan, like,
I love that.
Yeah, the little, like, ends of the fan, and then she, like, had, like, no railings, by the way, very dangerous.
It would not be me.
But yeah, but it's really cool. It's, like, ginormous.
Yeah.
And, oh god, okay, you're gonna have to open a new Zoom.
Really?
I know, it's already, I feel like this is not an hour, but,
There's no way.
maybe 30 minutes. But anyway, so she eventually, does go out, and it's a really cool scene. She, like, pulls this, I don't know, like, smoke signal thing, and that's blue, and, you know, her hair is blue, that's kind of her whole thing, and she, like, stands on top of a statue, and she's, like, holding the blue, and it's, like, a big moment. And she shows up to, this, like, prison, basically, that, had a ton of people a ton of innocent people that, the enforcers had just, like, taken in for basically no reason.
Yeah, makes sense.
So she shows up and she starts, like, saving, I think she, like, knocks out or kills, like, all of the guards there. Right. And, she, like, lets people out, and it's...
That's her back, in which case it's sad.
And it's, like, a really cool moment because or there's a really special moment where like everybody is like silently thanking her when they're passing. They're like putting their hands on her shoulder and like nodding to her, and it's like this is the first time where she's kind of like a leader, because every other time they're like, oh, Jinx is here.
Yeah.
That's either good or bad. Yeah, they're like, ooh. But, like, this time, like, they're really happy to see her. And, like, it's a really special moment. Until. Until.
She was doing so good.
You hear, like, a distant roar. And you're like, oh, what is that?
A distant roar.
A distant roar. And,
No way.
you see running through, like, these caverns, heading straight to this prison, is that huge monster that had been, like, hung up in the evil scientist's lab. Because we find out that the evil scientist was one of the people that was taken into the prison, and that he can call the monster with, like, his blood hitting the ground. He can do a little, like, scent call out. It was dead, but this guy loves to experiment and bring stuff back to life, and yeah.
No, please don't do that.
So that's not great. And the monster is like, it seems really bloodthirsty. Like it's really not good.
Yeah.
And it comes in and it starts like just wreaking havoc, killing people left and right. Like it is awful.
Not Jinx's fault.
No, this actually had nothing to do with Jinx. And yeah, both of them were coming to save people on their own volition. But all of a sudden it like locks eyes on Jinx, and it like grabs her and it's about to kill her, and it like throws her against the wall.
Oh my god.
And then you get a weird moment where like Jinx and the monster makes eye contact, and it holds on the monster's face for like multiple seconds. And then you start realizing that, like, hey, actually, the monster has, like, similar features and characteristics to another character that we haven't seen in a while.
No way.
You made a face. Someone you might say we haven't seen in, like, 10 years? Maybe more.
Is it her, like, original father?
It's Vander.
My poor child. Like,
it is when I tell you that when it held on his face, I was watching this with, oh my god, I was watching this with like 2 other people, and Riven was on my right. Riven has seen it before, and it held on him for a little while, and I had a thought where I was like, his jawline is giving Vander, because he has a very specific jawline. And, like, I literally... And Vander is one of my favorite characters. That was... The only time I almost cried was when he died. I was so upset.
Valid.
And it held on his face for a little while, and it's like, this monster is almost unrecognizable. And I literally turned to Riven and, like... they were looking straight, but they knew I was looking at them. And I could tell they were trying to look at the corner of my eye, and I was just staring straight at them with the most deranged look in my eye. And I was like, I'm gonna kill myself if this is who I was like, is
and then he
this?
died, and then he brought him back.
He brought him back as a fucking monster that is now hurting the people that he loved, that he tried to protect his entire life.
I'm gonna cry.
Oh my god. This is so, like, this is the level of, like, in the Lunar Chronicles, when Wolf gets transitioned to being, like,
I love how you could say transform, but you said transition.
Okay. Anyway, he gets transformed into, one of, like, the wolf hybrids.
Oh, yeah, that was devastating.
Like, yeah, it's like, this is you couldn't just let him die. You couldn't just let him... Like, are you fucking serious right now?
I hate this guy too. That's valid.
So, yeah. So that is where that episode ends. We still haven't heard from any of those other 4 people. They're still not here. We also haven't heard from, Victor at all.
Oh yeah, Victor, the people who got sucked into the little orb of death. Like...
Yeah. Mel, who just got, like, zapped out of nowhere. Very, very weird.
No, please.
So, yeah. So that's all very, very fun. I'm trying to think. We have like 3 more minutes. So, so when we open the next episode, we finally get to see what Vi's been doing for the last year. And lo and behold, we get, one could say, the hottest she's ever been. Her emo face. Her hair is now dyed black. I think she has more tattoos. She's wearing like eyeliner, but it's like smudged, but in a hot way, and it's like down her face. And she's a wrestler now, or like not really a wrestler because it's in Zon. They're like Street Fighter, and like they're fighting to kill. And I'm trying to think what else. She's wearing like this cute little crop top that's like made with bandages.
Oh yeah, you showed me that. She's very hot.
She is quite literally like, that is Rhea Ripley. Like, I'm pretty sure they modeled her after. Like, they look the exact same.
100%.
Yeah. So that's what she's been doing for the last year. She had a little. People make so many jokes that it's like that they're like, lost my entire family and went to jail for 10 years, perfectly fine. Had like a lesbian situationship. For like a few weeks, era. Total emo, like,
Because Caitlyn is gorgeous.
Yeah, no, Caitlyn's a little hottie. And so she's doing kind of all right, but it's just like, she's going through some stuff. When all of a sudden, Jinx shows up, and like, they haven't seen each other in a year. The last time they saw each other, I remembered why they had the falling out with Caitlyn.
Wait, stop, why?
Oh my god, I'm not gonna have time to tell you, hold on. They had the falling out with Caitlyn because Caitlyn and Vi finally tracked, this is before the 1 year jump, they finally tracked Jinx down, and they get her to this room, and they almost have it, and like, Caitlyn is a magnificent shoot with a gun. Like, she's been using guns her entire life, right? And she's about to shoot Jinx. And, like, Vi's okay with it at this point, because Vi is, like, she's caused so many people's deaths. Like, she's crazy, that's not my sister anymore. Like, it's, like, even when they talk, like, it's, like, it's not good.
Yeah, like, it's not
when all of a sudden, Jinx's, like, little child jumps up in front of Jinx. And so that Caitlyn, like, can no longer take the shot.
Yeah, understandable.
However, Caitlyn goes to take the shot still, because she's willing to kill this child to get to Jinx, or she thinks she'll be able to make it either way. We don't know. And
either way,
it's still not good. She's willing to take that option. And Vi knocks the gun out of her hands, and then Jinx gets away. And Vi is like, you were about to kill a child, and Caitlyn is like, you wasted like my one chance at getting Jinx, and that is where their falling out happened. So that's also the last time that Vi saw Jinx. So yeah, very interesting. She kind of saved her life, but she also was, like, just not willing to, like, kill an innocent person.
Yeah, a child, no less.
Yeah.
Like, maybe if it was, like, an adult and they were like, oh, like, sucks, but...
Yeah, no, but this is, like, a child. Like, it's like, you're not gonna do that. Anyway, I'm gonna let you make another Zoom because it's gonna drop out any second. So, see ya.
Bye.
We love, apparently... Zoom only works for an hour, but also I've only been talking for 38 minutes, so I'm like, I don't think it's actually an hour. I feel like it's like 45 minutes. I think they like are stealing some minutes from me. But yeah, up until this point, like see, the issue with the show is like there's so many insane things that happen, and especially in like the later half of the season, like after the time jump, that basically everything that happened in the first like 3 episodes got so like jumbled up in my brain. So yeah, I don't have as good of a memory of the last season, just because it's like so insane, that like the first season seems like a cakewalk to explain after this, like very simple, but yeah, oh my goodness, it is so confusing. All right, we are getting the link from Ava, and I'm gonna open another Zoom. Oh, This is very exciting. I'm trying to think of other things. I feel like if I was an amazing person, it would be great if I like edited in these characters like how they look during this, but that would just take so long, you know? All right, we're meeting back. Oh, hello. Okay, so
You left it at a good spot. You did a good job.
I was like, if this cuts out right after I say that Vander's back, that would be so iconic. But I just end the Zoom like early. I just go, and it's Vander, end. Like,
I was shocked. I was like, because I thought it, and I was like, there's no way.
Right? Yeah, the look in your face, you were just like, who could it possibly be? But also at this point, like, we've lost a lot of characters, so it's like,
yeah,
but yeah, it was just really weird. So anyway, so we're back to Vi. She's in her emo phase. And so Jinx shows up at her place, and like it's like the last time she saw her, she was like being so manic. And it's like usually she's crazy. So
yeah, she's crazy.
Yeah, so it's like Vi's a little like disoriented, and then Jinx starts being like, Vander's back, like he's alive, like we have to go. And she's like seeming kind of like, this is like the most like down to earth and like normal she's ever seemed.
Yeah, but also like,
yeah, also she's not explaining in the way in which Vander is back. She's just saying he's back. And Vi's like very confused at this point. She's just like
no.
Yeah. But she still decides to follow her. So they go down to these like old tunnels and stuff that are like underneath Zon. And Jinx says like, oh, he ran here, and Vi's like, what do you mean he fucking ran? What? Like she's like, okay. And
it's very confusing for her. I feel
yeah. But they all of a sudden like stumble upon this like old like war bunker, it kind of seems, and they realize that it was from the first kind of like civil war that they tried to have, where Zon was trying to like separate.
It didn't go well at all.
Yeah, the one that that Vander and Silco like led to like their mother dying. But like on the there's like this table in the middle of the room, and on the table there's this note that is apparently from Vander to Silco, and it was written after Vander tried to like kill Silco, and it's an apology letter. It's him saying like, I'm so sorry, like I wish that didn't happen, like can we please can we like talk? And I don't know if this is like on the show's fault. The show is really well done, so I'm gonna say it's my fault. I don't really get why Vander tried to kill Silco. I don't really get it. I mean, that's my man right there, so I'm like, I think he had a reason, but like the most I can understand is that they just had very different like they had different ways that they wanted to do this or something, or like maybe he could sense that Silco was like turning evil.
Deep in his felt the spite in his heart.
And so anyway, but in this letter he's saying like, can we please like meet here like in our secret bunker, and
romantic, might I add.
Yeah, and like can we talk and like all of that, but and I guess he left it here because he thought that maybe like Silco would come here at some point, but it was still there, and they know their history, and they know that like I guess Silco never came and he never read the letter, and they're kind of like, if he had, like things could have been completely different.
That's so sad, actually.
Yeah. And but anyway, but while down there, like
yet another sad.
So while down there, the monster shows up, and at first like his brain has been like completely altered, like he should have no human memory left, and so he starts like almost attacking them, and Vi's trying to fight back, and Jinx is being like, no, that's Vander, and Jinx is like, what? She's like, oh, so you're insane again. She's like, why did I trust you? You motherfucker, you always do this. Yeah, she was like, why did I trust you?
Which is valid.
But then all of a sudden, they have a really sweet moment where, again, it's kind of like they lock eyes, and she realizes that, like, it is Vander. And then then they hug, and then she hugs him because like, oh, that like I could go on for hours.
Real tears.
Actually the relationship between Vi and Vander is just like, it's so amazing because it's like they both try so hard to like protect people and to be a leader, and it's like they're always either taken for granted or people like blame them for things.
Yeah.
And it just like, it sucks. And it's just like she, like, obviously Jinx loves Vander too, but it's just like Vi had like longer to grow up with him, and like Vi was older, so she like had a different bond with him, and it's just like, oh my god, it was so sweet. So this is her like hugging the father that she thought she lost like when she was like 15, and it is just like so cute. And then Jinx goes in and hugs them, and it's just like such an amazing moment because like this is like, there can almost be a level of like forgiveness here because it's like Vi, like she, like a part of her will always love Jinx, but it's like she's also the reason that Vander and their 2 adoptive brothers are dead.
Yeah.
So it's like, how can you really like still like, I don't even know, not like love the person, but it's just like, that's really difficult. Like, how are you not gonna kind of hate them a little bit, because like that's the person, like that's the reason that your father's dead.
Yeah. Conflicting feelings.
But yeah, and then Jinx has been like holding on to this guilt that's like driven her insane, and like it's like kind of like the reason she doesn't get close to people, and it's just like she thinks everyone either leaves or dies and like all this stuff. So it's just like insane that it's like, yeah, this is like such a huge moment for both of them, because yeah, like Vi can like finally forgive Jinx, and then Jinx can like forgive herself, and it's just so beautiful. And
are they about to ruin it?
of course. And we kind of see that like Vander's like fighting the monster. Like obviously he can't come back like fully, and
it's gonna make me cry.
he's very disoriented, and it's just like, but he can still kind of hold it together. But it's like if he gets a scent of blood, it messes with him and like all that. And they hear that they're like, oh, there's a, I don't even know how they explain it. There's a mage. There's a magical man in Zon who's like made a little community for himself, and he heals people. And you could bring Vander to him and see if he could heal people. So they're like, okay. So they show up at this like, now I'm not gonna lie, it looks exactly like a cult. Like they show up at this cult, and they're like, can we speak to their leader? And all the people are like weirdly smiling and weirdly really like enlightened, and they're like, of course, but you can't bring weapons in because we are a peaceful country, and like we have peace and we heal, and our supreme leader, and you're just like, okay, you weirdos.
Alright.
Yeah, and then they seem kind of weird, a little lifeless, but it's just like, okay.
Like you gotta choose somebody.
Yeah. And so oh my god, so it's insane. So they go in, and they realize that the leader is Victor. And you know, Jesus. And he's looking even more like Jesus-y by the day, by the minute. He has a high Arcane now. It's now a full-ass staff. He has robes, except he's still wearing that little blanket that Jace gave him. And oh my god, yeah, it's just so funny. And so Victor starts, it's very weird. He like has full-ass powers now. He can like touch Vander and like go into the Sherlock fan in me really wants to be like Mind Palace. But like he goes into like, he basically astral projects, and he like sees into Vander's memories and what Vander is seeing, and he like can see that he can see that there's like a part of him that still remembers like his children, and like it shows like the other 2 boys too, and but it's like it's really distant and it's really hard to get to, but Victor's like, it's still there, like I could get to it. And this is just for funsies. This is the first time that like, and I think the only time that Jinx and Victor interact, and it's like the amount of roasting that happens within like a few minutes, like it's so funny. There's, like, specifically, I think, Victor says, like, oh, I'll help Vander, but I have one condition. And then Jinx goes, it looks like you have multiple conditions. So crazy. And then he goes, he says, like, I think he just calls her, like, Powder. Like, he, like, dead names her. He's just like, all right, Powder. And everyone's like, oh, okay. But also shows that he can just, like, see into everyone's mind, because it's like, how did you know that?
Yeah.
So that's not fantastic. And
Such
then
as the song that features in Arcane, Feeling Fantastic.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But so at the same time, somehow Caitlin and Mel's mother, I'm so annoyed I can't come up with her name, but like Mel's mother, they hear that they get this they find the evil scientist somehow, and they're like, hey, we're either gonna like execute you, or you get to go to jail for life, or we hear you have a really cool weapon, a monster. Can we use that?
Oh god.
Yeah. So they hear that the cool weapon is in Zon, so they march over there with all their little troops, and they're heading over there to take them. And obviously this is really bad, because you're like, that's not good. And the doctor is like really trying to he's trying to call the monster back to him. Like, he's trying to, like, do everything he can to get him to come back. And he doesn't want Vander to have memories, because he wants him to be, like, this programmed monster. So that's not good. And so they're all, like, converging on this little, like, cult town. And at one point, Vi is, like, out, and she sees Caitlin now in all of her, like, regalia. And she, like, sees that she's, like, with all of these guards, and she's like, oh, my God. And she somehow, like, she pulls Caitlin aside, and this is, like, the first time they're seeing each other in a year. They do a little fighting on the ground, a little roughhousing. It's very fun. And finally, they're both like, what are you doing here? And Caitlin is like, we've come to take, like, this ultimate weapon that's apparently down here, this, like, monstrous weapon. And she's like, what are you doing here? And Vi says, like, I'm trying to save my dad. And it's, like, so sweet, because, like, Caitlin knows her dad is dead. So it's just, like, yeah, her just saying, like, I'm trying to save my dad is just so cute. And now we get a cut back to, like, where Vander and, like, Jinx is and all of that. And all of a sudden, like, who breaks in to where they're keeping Vander, and which, by the way, they're keeping him in a beautiful greenhouse. They're letting him enjoy life. And so, like, I'm trying to think. I think it's, like, Caitlin and a guard and the evil scientist dude, like, all storm in, and they're all like, yeah, they're like, we're taking him, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, oh my God, Caitlin, this asshole, this bitch. Who could you how could people possibly like you? How could people ship you? Like, are you fucking serious?
Other than the fact you're really hot.
Yeah. And then she turns around, and she knocks out the guard, and she knocks out the doctor, and she goes, I just talked to Vi. I'm gonna help you get Vander out. And you're like, I never doubted you in a second, Caitlin. Don't
like, I would have never thought anything bad about you, actually.
Yeah, you can imagine. In my head, I was, like, cursing her out, and I was like, I will actually not be happy if you, like, I will never like your character again if you're part of the reason why Vander doesn't get to be with his daughter. Like, that, I'm actually gonna be so pissed off. But no, she, like, literally, Vi, they haven't seen each other in a year. Vi explains to her real quick that it's, like, my father is back, and it's like, thank God. She's, like, still nice enough to be like, oh, obviously, like, we're not gonna take your dad. And, yeah, but it's, like...
A little bit of a soul, thank you.
Yeah, but it's, like, yeah, Caitlin's just in charge of the guard. Like, Mel's mom is still the one, like, fully in charge, and they still want Vander, and it's really bad. And now they're being like, we're gonna march on the city, and the city's trying to be like, well, we actually are peaceful, we don't allow weapons in here. And they're like, we will literally shoot you. Like, they're like, you have to let us in. And Victor's not really doing anything. He's just, like, sitting up on, like, he's in an orb room, and he's like sitting in a throne, and he's like enlightened. He's in his headspace. He's astral projecting, and while he's astral projecting, he can like see the friend that he accidentally killed, and yeah, it's like, oh my god, it's a whole thing. We're not really sure if she was actually up there or if that's just in his head, but so yeah, so sorry, Daddy just jumped across the computer, and so. While all of this is happening, we get a flash over to the hex core, the orb, and who erupts from it out of nowhere but Jace.
He's
finally back, and he's muscular. He has a broken leg. His hair has grown out more. He has facial hair. He looks like he literally went through hell. And he shows up with his
glow up.
Yeah, he shows up with his giant ass hammer. Like, the hammer is like it was one of the creations that they made that they were like, oh, this is gonna help people. Yeah,
and
no.
Everyone was like,
yeah, no, it's his weapon now. Yeah, and also that's like his weapon in the game is that if you play Jace, you get this giant ass hammer. And so he shows up, and he looks literally like hell, and you're like, oh, okay. And he was looking really deranged, and he runs into the guy who had broken his legs, and he had been like paralyzed, and but the guy's like talking kind of weird, and you realize that like Victor is like astral projecting into this man and like possessing him, and Victor is like going on being like, Jace, you have to see all of the good I've done for people. I've been healing people. I've been enlightening them. I've been building a community of and Jace is like, huh?
I said evil Jesus.
And Jace is like, no, Victor, I realize I was wrong now. We need to destroy the hex core. Like, you were right. Like, I'm so sorry I didn't listen before. Like, oh my god, this is so bad. And Victor was like, no, Jace, it's good. It's good. We're helping people. And Jace is like, okay. And
oh god. Consequences of my own actions.
Yeah. So then Victor like leaves this man's body, but then he's like, I'm trying to think. It's like something like, oh, if he possesses someone once, like he can do it again, or like all of that, or like now this man has been touched by like the hex core, and you know that's not good.
That's bad.
As this man is like leaving, you get like this amazing shot where it's just on him, and you hear Jace's voice go, you know I can't let you leave. And then he gets like split in half by Jace's hammer. And like, this is the first time Jace has like chosen violence. And you're like, oh.
I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
But, okay.
No one was expecting. You're like, oh my god, I think Jace has also lost his mind. And you're like, okay.
Everyone just mutually losing their minds. Sorry.
Yeah. So then you see Jace like drag himself all the way to like Zahn, and he's trying to find the actual Victor. And as this is going on, we know that the guards are going in to get Vander, and that like Vi and Caitlyn and Jinx and like and Isha, but you know she's a 9-year-old, she's not doing much. Like they're all trying to protect Vander, and Vander's fighting, but then he's also like fighting internally, and it's like a whole thing. And there's like a whole ass like battle breaking out with like a ton of people, and I don't remember exactly which one goes first, but ultimately I think this happens first. So they're all fighting, and earlier in the show we had seen that Jinx still has like one of the little crystals, and like we saw that she when she had to take like all of her weapons off to go into this city, she like left the crystal with it, and we see like Isha kind of look at it weird, and you're like, oh no. And later you see her like have her hand in her pocket, and you're like, oh no. And so
I'm stressed.
in this battle, the like Vander's memories are just like they're not coming back fast enough, and he's like the monster side of him is taking over, and he's like turning sides, and it's not good, and like they're not going to be able to get out of there by themselves. And he's also going to be like a huge like he could kill any of them with like the swipe of his hand. Like it's not good. And
situation.
in a great act of heroism, Isha, the little 9-year-old, runs into the midst of the battle, and because Vander's like in the middle, and all of the guards are around them, and she runs like straight to him, and like standing like right underneath him, so that they're like together with this, she puts like the crystal in her gun and like shoots it up, and it puts out like a huge bomb, and it like kills everyone in the vicinity. Yeah.
The 9-year-old and Xander at once.
It's really sad. And we get like it's when I tell you that like you get like a close-up of the eye contact between Jinx and her, and then you get like flashbacks between the two of them bonding, and you get like, you see adorable scenes.
Oh, Jinx is gonna like majorly crash out, right?
Really upsetting. Oh, for sure. It's really
valid, to be clear.
It's really upsetting. So yeah.
I'm devastated by this. What?
It's really sad. And then you see, and then we get a little flash to to Jace. He finally gets to like the little like palace house that Victor is at, and he like walks in, and this is the first time he's seen Victor in all of his like Jesus-ness.
Oh, his Jesus-ness.
Yeah. And you see, and he's like staring at him, and you're like, whoa, what's gonna happen? Are they gonna talk? And then, bam, he shoots Victor in the face, and Victor dies. And that's where the episode ends.
What? Like, dies for real?
He's dead. We see his crumbled body.
What?
Yeah, that's what everyone was saying. And when the show was coming out, now this isn't when I watched it, but back in October when it was coming out like once a week. They were doing that whole thing.
Yeah.
And so apparently all hell broke loose when this happened.
Yeah.
Because there are people who have always disliked Jace. And that's a whole other thing. They're wrong, but like, you know. And yeah, some people just like cannot deal with, I don't know. Some people are like, he's a Nepo baby, and it's like, apparently you just didn't pay attention to the fact that he's not. But, like, his mom is like a single mother. Like, what are you talking about? And yeah, people just don't, yeah.
Middle-class single mom Nepo babies exist all the time. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but she wasn't even on the count. It's like he worked to get sponsors. I know, it was just so, it's insane. But apparently, people were taking this one photo of him where he doesn't even look that good, but it's kind of like a mugshot. And they were changing their profile photos, and people still have this. So, like, once you know what to look for, like, you will notice this all over TikTok. And it's his face, and it's either, like, a check mark or an X to be, like, if you're on Jace's side or not, to, like, tell everyone else. And then people started taking it, like... people started taking it so far. Like, they started putting, like, random symbols over it. They started, like, changing it to be, like, anything you could possibly think of. They started putting, like, hats on him. They started, like... It was so... Like, look up, like, Jace profile pics and, like, Arcane. It's so...
So this was, like, a real controversy going on.
No, apparently, like, the entire fandom was, like, split. And it was so bad. Just recently, someone commented on one of my TikToks, and I realized they had a, it was the photo of Jace, and it was the Archive of Our Own symbol over it, and then their username was Jarchive of Our Own. Like, Jason Archive. And it was so
good.
But yeah, people have been like, dude, like, it's so funny. But yeah, I'm so happy I wasn't around during that, because I would have been so pissed off, because I am a big Jace stan.
That would be upsetting.
But yeah, people were like, he just fucking murdered Victor.
His, like, lover, best friend.
Yeah, but it's like, why so he obviously went somewhere for a year, and then came back, and then was on a very clear mission. Like, what conclusion would you come up with for that?
I don't know.
Nothing?
He seems a little possessed.
Maybe. Could be.
Obsessive?
Could be.
I don't know.
He's on a very specific mission. I had my theories, but I'm gonna keep them to myself. But I will say I was kind of right about something, and I was really happy about that.
You're like, I did kind of get that shit.
Yeah.
He just seems... Is it actually him?
Mm-hmm. It's him. Yeah. So then the next episode, thank the Lord, we finally get to see where Echo and Heimerdinger are. And Echo wakes up and he's really disoriented. And you kind of notice, like, Echo has, usually wears, like, face paint and has, like, dyed white hair in the other world. And, this Echo is, like, very clean cut. No face paint, no hair dye. You're just like, oh, a perfect little Echo. And he's, like, in some studio of some sort. And all of a sudden, Jinx is there. But she's, like, also not really looking like Jinx. And she walks in, and he freaks out, because obviously every time he sees Jinx, she's trying to, like, kill him.
Yeah.
And he, like, freaks out. He starts, like, he's trying to attack her, like, all that. And she's, like, asking him, like, what's going on, like, blah, blah, blah. And he's, like, calling her Jinx, and she's like, who are you talking to? Like, all of that. Like, what are you talking about? And we realize that he is in an alternate universe where Jinx isn't bad, and she still goes by Powder.
Oh, free him.
Yeah. And
poor guy.
So then he starts, like, yeah, he's obviously, like, really shooken up, but he doesn't, like, know how to get back. And I'm trying to I don't think they know, like, maybe he might have a piece of, like, the hex core or something, but it's like, yeah, it's really not. Or no, he doesn't have a piece of it yet. But,
Yet?
Yeah. But he starts, like, walking around Zaun, and it's like, Zaun is, like, a beautiful city. It has flourished. It's not the Undercity anymore. It's not, like, bad.
Wait, this is so interesting. What the fuck?
Yeah. He goes into, like, this old, bar that, like, Vander used to run. And, like, Vander and Silco are behind the, counter, and they're running it together, and Powder goes over there and is, like, laughing it up with them, and it's, like, her two fathers.
Crazy.
And all of a sudden, like, Echo's adopted father comes in, and, like, that man's been dead for a few years. And Echo has, like, a super sweet, like, reunion with everyone.
There you go.
And it's so beautiful. And, it's really sweet. The two adoptive brothers, they're both alive. They're there. This is the first time we've seen them as, like, 20-year-olds.
Crazy.
Yeah, and he's just very confused. And, like, it's really funny because he does not play this as, like, he's not like, oh, I'm gonna pretend to be the other. Like, he's walking around being like, what is going on? Like, the entire time. Like, he doesn't give a shit. And Powder kind of makes some proclamations to everyone else. Like, she's just like, oh, you know, this mad scientist, and, like, or she's like, oh, like, he's, like, losing his marbles again, and, or, like, he's having, like, a personality crisis again, and which is, like, I clocked that as being, like, he's having a personality crisis again.
Yeah, like, what do you mean?
So, maybe, like, this has happened before, and, like, a different Echo has come to this world? I don't know.
I feel like yes.
It's not really answered. That's just my interpretation. Other people's is just that, like, the Echo in this world, like, is kind of, like, a little, like, mad scientist guy. More like a mad, like, mechanic guy. And,
I don't know.
And we find out that this is the alternate universe where if Silco had found the letter from Vander. Yeah.
No.
But in this world, somehow through the butterfly effect, if that had happened, then in the explosion in episode 1 at Jace's house that, like, Jinx caused, Vi accidentally died. And it's kind of unclear. Jace and Victor are never mentioned. So Jace probably died in that explosion too, and then Victor probably just died of, like, natural causes. And because he was, like, already dying from his illness. And so, yeah, so it's, like, people, like, they have, like, like, huge, like, spray-painted memorials of Vi, and it's like, she's dead in this world, but, like, everything else is okay.
You're like, you can pick one.
Yeah, and he runs into Heimerdinger there, and Heimerdinger is like, no, this world is fantastic. I don't want to leave. Like, he's like, I tried to save that other world, and they kicked me off the council, so, like, I literally couldn't care less.
Yeah.
But Victor is like, no, I have people back home that I love. Like, I need to get back. Like, I have, like, the people that, like, in my little community, like, they believe in me, and, like, I'm their leader. Like, I have to go back. And, like, Vi is there, and, like, yeah. But it's, like, really difficult. And he starts getting, like, closer to the Powder in this universe. And he figures out that, like, him and Powder in this universe are together. And they're really cute. And
my meeting will end in 10 minutes.
It's not an hour. I swear to God, it's That's not crazy. An hour. Oh my God, I cannot explain the rest of it. So, I think I could explain this in like 30 more minutes, so I'll make another meeting. But anyway, so they start getting really close, and it is like the sweetest thing ever. And there's an adorable little kiss scene where it's like she goes in to kiss him, and they're like out on a balcony, like overlooking what used to be the Undercity. And she like goes in to kiss him like any day, and he kind of like goes back, and then he's like, sorry, can we pretend like this is the first time? And she kind of is like, sure. Like, she's really sweet. Like, she definitely can kind of tell that something is different.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's really sweet, and they kiss, and it's adorable. And then there's like a little they're apparently in this world, they're like trying to build something for this like mechanic competition, and afterwards there's like a little party, and Jinx gets all like dressed up, and it's adorable. And when she walks in, it is like a perfect, basically one-to-one parallel of the fight scene between Jinx and Echo in the first season. It's like she walks in, and there's a close-up on her boots, and then it goes like up, and then it's adorable. And like they start dancing, and we get this beautiful French song that's like absolutely heartbreaking. And they're dancing, and it's in slow motion, and it is 4 frames per second, which is very interesting. I would have never come up with that, but my artsy friends apparently say this.
Like, I believe it.
Yeah. And we find out that still in this universe, Powder had still taken the crystals, and because she still had like accidentally dropped it and it blew up, but she still had them. Like, she just has them in like a box somewhere. And Echo finds this, and he starts talking to Heimerdinger, and he's like, do you think we could try to build the hex core here to send me back? And so like they start building it together, but it's like in this world, like him and Jinx and like the brothers, like they're all really, really smart. And not Jinx, sorry, Powder. And I mean, Powder is extremely smart in the other world. Like, she builds these like insane machines and like bombs and like all of this stuff, and she just uses it for evil, you know. And but they like start building it, and they ultimately do create the hex core again. But they like make it into this like cool I don't even know, kind of like a I don't know, it's just like a long oblong thing, and you twist it.
Yeah.
And
so it's like more contained.
Yeah. And they're like trying to test it out, and they like put the crystal in it, and they're like doing all these things, and he twists it, and he realizes that it sends him back 4 seconds. And he like twists it again, and it sends him back another 4 seconds. And he's like, whoa. And that's why the frame rate on the dance scene was 4 frames per second, because that's the amount of seconds that Echo could go back to relive that moment. Anyway, it's very sweet. And
it's so adorable.
I do. But I'm trying to think. I think something about like he realizes that if he does it any more than 4 seconds, then like the like people could like die, and like he could die. And so he's like, oh, let's not do that. And basically like so him and Heimerdinger start like working more, and they ultimately make like the actual hex core. And so they're like, I think I could send us back together. And yeah, all of that, and they're planning to like go back together, but they so they touch the hex core and they like get in together, and all of a sudden Mr. Heimerdinger jumps out, and he says something about like I don't want to go back, blah blah blah, but Echo didn't tell him that like if it was like something like, apparently if they're in the hex core and they do the like time turner thing, it's okay, but like anyone else who like outside could die. I don't know, something happened,
so they'll be fine.
Something happened and Heimerdinger jumped out and Heimerdinger died, so really sad. So yeah, that's really unfortunate. And
it's really sad. He's so little.
Yeah. No, that was just really sad. I thought he was just gonna jump out and say, like, I can't stay, but he, like, jumps out and then he, like, pushes a lever, and maybe the lever was the thing that could actually send Echo away, and he, like, sacrifices himself. But as Echo is, like, transforming, he's going through time, he's like, ooh, and, he can still see, like, this world, and he sees that, like, that Echo, like, dropped to the ground, and now he looks like himself again. Like in like his old clothes and his old makeup and like all of that and the old hair, and Powder runs into the room, and because she's heard him like collapse in their studio, and she like runs in and she picks, like, she's like on the floor and she's like holding the old this other version of Echo, and she like looks up and makes eye contact with like that Echo, the one that like we know. And you can just, like, see this, like, realization that, like, she kind of knew before. She definitely did. The stuff she was saying where it's just, like, she knew that wasn't really the same person. But, like, yeah. It's just this, like, really amazing moment where he's, like, basically, like, saying goodbye to, like, this world that he can never have. But, like, that's, like, the girl
that's
he
so
loves.
Sad,
and, like,
I'm sad.
Yeah. And he had told Heimerdinger, like, earlier that, because he had said that, like, he either said this to Heimerdinger or to Powder, but he was like, I, like, had lost sight of, and I forgot what Zahn, like, could look like what I was fighting for. Like, I didn't realize that, like, maybe we could actually reach something like this. And, because, yeah, he had just been, like, fighting for so long that he didn't actually think they'd ever be able to, like, get that.
Heartbreaking stuff as usual, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, very sweet. And, like, he has, like, trust in, like, Powder or Jinx now, because he knows that, like, there's a version of her that is this person, and he's like, I think that maybe I could get through to, like, the Jinx in my world. And so he goes back, and it's really, really sad. And then we get to see what Jace was up to the whole time he was away. And so while Heimerdinger and Echo were in basically heaven, like their versions of heaven, like their perfect world, one could say that Jace was in hell. So
oh, is that why he's like so?
He wakes up in a Piltover that has been completely destroyed by the Hex Core. Everyone is dead. Everyone is dead.
Poor guy.
And he's, like, running around the city, and it, like, he's kind of, like, going mad because he's, like, freaking out. Like, this is really traumatic. And he fucking falls in, like, a ravine and breaks his leg and gets trapped there for, like, months, probably. Like, and this montage is, like, he's actually going insane. Like, he's scribbling on the wall, trying to do, like, math stuff that, like, we don't even know. He's too smart for us. But he's, like, he starts, like, making fire to cook meat, but then, like, as the montage goes on, he just starts eating the meat raw. And, because he's, like, catching salamanders that are down there. And he takes apart, his hammer to make, like, a brace. And I guess when he goes back to the other world, his hammer comes back. But, like, he makes, like, a leg brace, so now he's, like, walking with a limp like Victor did, which was kind of cool parallel. And he shows him, like, trying to climb up the ravine, but he keeps falling, and it's just like, oh my god, this man is going through hell. And this is, like, I'm going fast, but it's, like, Because,
Yeah.
well, I have less than a minute. But anyway, he finally makes it out of the ravine, basically. And that's where I'll end this for right now.
That's where we'll leave off.
Yeah, that's where we'll leave off. I wish we could just Skype, but like, is that even a thing anymore? Like,
I don't think so. I feel like they still have the app. I don't understand why they're charging all of a sudden.
I just think that it's very rude. All right, I'll make another one, and then I swear this will be like 30 more minutes.
I love you.
Love you, bye. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, this would be a great time for you to comment your thoughts on just like what you think is going on. It's very, very interesting. Okay, let me see. I'm starting a new one. I'm going to invite Ava. I'm going to email. I'm going to Gmail. Whew, I mean, I could cut, but like, honestly, at this point, you get to be along for the ride. We're not, an extremely, like, professional podcast over here. We like to be silly and spice stuff up, and you're just here. You kind of have to be. Alrighty. Now we wait. But yeah, Jace is like absolutely going through it right now. I can't express enough. This is the point where you would find him the most hot. Like, he has like grown out facial hair. He looks like he has like he looks like he's coming back from war, basically. So it's I mean, I kind of love it because I love seeing characters going through like traumatic events and like slightly losing their mind, but yeah, it's definitely kind of a crazy vibe. Oh, hello.
We're back.
I was telling Amanda that this is the hottest she would find Jace. Because he looks really, really crazy, and
He looks
real crazy, but also like the facial hair and the muscles and the like, oh, it's beautiful. You should look up season 2 Jace. Anyway, so he finally gets out of the ravine after probably months, probably like 6 to 9 months.
Would drive anyone crazy, probably.
Yeah, and he gets out there and he sees this like cloaked mage that like apparently had been there that whole time. And he recognizes it as the same mage that had saved him when he was a child and was like almost died of hypothermia out in like the snow.
Interesting.
And it was the one that showed up and gave him the crystal in the first place and like teleported him and his mom out of there. And so he realizes that, like, we don't know if it's that exact mage or if, like, it's just another version of that one, but it looks the exact same, right? And he, like, realizes that that mage had been there that whole time and that he saw him struggle for months. Yeah. It's really funny. But he like, goes over to this specific, like, scene where the mage is, and the mage is like standing in front of this like kind of corpse. Kind of what happened is, like, you know, when you see photos of like Pompeii, where it's like there's still like the shell of where the people used to be, it's kind of like that. And it's like this corpse of this person who's like down on their knees, and they have like a hammer that's like down on the ground, and they're like holding on to the base of it. And Jace is like standing in front of it, and he realizes that like that's him in that universe, like that's how he died, and like that was his hammer. And he talks to the mage, and ultimately we miss most of that conversation, but it, like, we understand that like the mage says like, this is your universe if you don't stop the hex core.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That is why Jace comes back and is like, hey, you guys gotta die.
Yeah, valid.
And so yeah, it's crazy.
The entire world blows up, so you know.
Yeah. So then we see. So back to our modern day. We see that and I hate to say this, Victor's not actually dead. Oh yeah.
What?
And also, neither is Vander.
What? Okay, that one I did not see coming at all.
However,
I feel tricked.
However, like, the doctor has him, like, the scientist has him now. Mm-hmm. And the scientist is doing stuff to make him completely forget his family. And, yeah, he's not coming back. It's not the same man. Now it's completely the monster. And, yeah, so the Hex Corps, like, took Victor's, like, dead body and, like, created, like, an orb around him, and he can somehow still possess people through that, because he's, like, astral projecting, but, like, he's just, like, in an orb. Very fun. And he somehow, for, like, some reason, sides with Mel's mom, and he's, like, his entire thing is that he wants, like, evolution. Like, he, I think his big line is, like, the glorious evolution, apparently. And, yeah, he just wants, like, everybody to get to, like, a place where there's, like, no illness and, like, you're not human anymore, so you don't, like, you can't get illness, and you can't die, and you can't, like, but you also don't have, like, feelings anymore. And yeah,
that's what he wants to do.
It's so weird. And, like, through this, you kind of figure out that, like, all the people in his cult, they're not them anymore. Like, he is just possessing their bodies. Like, if he dies, they're all gonna die. So they're just, like, animated corpses right now, so that's creepy.
Can they see what's, like, going on?
Not really, I don't think so. And
that's so icky.
Yeah, but he also starts, like, creating these, like, mechanical people that he can, like, take over. And
just absolutely spiraling out. Right?
Yeah, he magics up this, like, mechanical, like, version of himself, and that's what he, like, possesses to, like, talk to people through, and it's called, like, the Machine Herald, and apparently that is his final form in the video game. Like, if you play Victor in the video game, that's what you look like. And the absolute shock, because, like, and Riven dropped on me that they were like, oh yeah, in the video game, Jace and the Machine Herald are mortal enemies.
What do you mean?
And I sat through, like, this entire show being like, no, but they're best friends, though. No, but they love each other. What do you mean?
No, but they're best friends and they love each other.
What do you mean they're mortal enemies?
They are best friends that love each other.
I was like, I was told this was a backstory, but I also wasn't prepared for it to be, like, so yeah, that's a shocker. Oh my god. So yeah, and then we see that the guards from Piltover had, taken Jinx and, like, thrown her in jail because of, like, all of her war crimes over the years, you know. But it's also, like, she didn't, like, put up a fight or anything. Like, like, she just watched her father die again, and, like, basically, like, her daughter. And either, like, her daughter or, like, the younger sister, like, and she's being, like, the older sister that she never had, like, you know, something like that. And, so yeah, so she just, like, completely gives herself up. And Vi wakes up because she'd been knocked out, and she wakes up with Caitlin, and like, it's so sad. She's just, like, completely destroyed and upset, and because, like, she just watched Vander die again, and she is like, oh, I have to go talk to Jinx, and Caitlin's like, she's actually in jail, and she's like, hey, what?
She's like,
hey, what's up? And Caitlyn is like, well, what was I supposed to do? Like, she's killed so many people. And,
Which is true.
So Vi, like, goes to, like, talk to her and stuff. And, Vi's, like, trying to get through to her and, like, all of that. And, Jinx is, like, she's seeing things. Like, she's not doing well. She sees, like, a ghost of Silco, basically. And he's, like, he's talking. He has a really meaningful monologue. And he basically says, like, you're, like, it's not actually Silco, though. Like, it's part of her head, too. So it starts saying, like, you're always gonna be a Jinx to people. And, like, you always bring, like, hardships to people. And, like, everyone you love dies. And it's your fault. And, like, all of that. And he says, like, you would be, like, their life would be better if you weren't in it. Like, stuff like that. And so she is, like, seeing this. And she,
I do feel bad for her throughout this thing.
It's really sad. And she starts, like, talking to Vi more. And Vi, like, we find out that Vi, like, stole keys. And she's like, I'm, like, gonna get you out of here, like, blah, blah, blah. And she opens the doors, and she, like, goes in, and she hugs, Jinx, and they're having, like, this really sweet moment. And, all of a sudden, Jinx, like, pushes her back, and she, like, runs out the door, and she closes the door. And she tells Vi that she apologizes, and she says, like, she goes, like, I promise like, you don't have to worry about me anymore. I'm gonna, like, yeah, she says, like, you don't have to feel guilty about, anything anymore. Like, I won't be a problem. Like, you're allowed to have, like, a good life. And she leaves. And you're like, oh, no. Like,
I understand her, but so sad.
Yeah, a little worrisome. And, so it's not great. And then Caitlyn finally comes down and, like, finds Vi in the jail cell. And
yes.
Yeah, and Vi is, like, really going through it, and she's like, you told me that, like, this is gonna happen, and that, like, I can't trust her, and that she was just gonna run, and, like, I thought that she wasn't gonna run this time, and I'm sorry. And then Caitlyn, the line is like, oh, so did you really think I needed all of the guards at, like, the hex gates? And it's because, like, there were no guards when Vi had walked through there. And it's because Caitlyn called all of them off because she knew that Vi was going to go, like, set Jinx free. And she was just like, she's not even mad. She was like, I knew you were going to do that. I know you're going to choose her, like, every time. Even if she, like, does 1,000 more things, like, you're going to go and, like, give her the benefit of the doubt. And, like, I just know you at this point. And, it's such a cute scene. And then they fuck in the jail cell.
Fire.
Completely change of tone. I kind of wish it had happened somewhere else, but I digress. And the song Fantastic by King Princess plays, and it's amazing.
I'm just like...
And it's beautiful.
That's wonderful, but, like, why there, Queen?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just because it's, like, Vi is really upset, and then she finds out that, like, Caitlyn finally trusts her after all this time, and, like, she just feels like she just lost everybody, and then now she finds out that this person that she thought she lost, because they're technically broken up right now. True. and Caitlyn tries to stop her and is like, oh, by the way, like, when we were apart, like, I met someone, and because she was hooking up with this girl, Maddie, on who's, like, also a police officer, and, like, I just need you to imagine the most, like, fuck-ass Bob you've ever seen in your life. It's Ginger, too, and she's so freaking annoying.
You're like, we hate her.
Yeah, there was a scene where it was, like, Caitlyn sits up in bed, and you think she's alone, and then all of a sudden Maddie sits up next to her, and then, like, the disgust that rolled through my body, I was like, what is happening to my ship right now? And
valid.
Yeah, so, and then Vi literally, she's like, I don't fucking care. Like, she's like, I don't care.
Queen.
Yeah, and they're really cute, so they got back together, adorable. But yeah, so they are, like, they're up in Piltover, And they're trying to, like, hold they don't really have a palace, but they're trying to hold their, like, capital, basically. And, all of a sudden, we get to see what Mel has been doing this whole time. Woo! So, Mel was captured by the sorceress, and they were, like, kind of torturing her, and it's kind of really confusing. And then,
really confusing.
Yeah, and you were like, I don't really know what's happening. And then, ultimately, we find out that, her mother had an affair with a man who was a sorcerer. And that is why Mel has had those, like, gold things all over her body, and no one else in her family has that.
Why she got banished too?
I think so. I think her mom was trying to protect her, in air quotes, from, the, like, sorceress people, because they wanted to come and, like, claim her, and the mom didn't want to do that. But also, like, I don't know, the mom is so sketchy. But yeah, like, Mel starts, like, learning how to use her powers more, and it is so amazing, and she can, like, kind of, like, supernova herself. Like, she, like, bursts into light, and it is so fucking cool. And
I love her.
So she shows back up at the castle, and now it's like the gang is back together. We got Caitlin, we got Jace, we got Mel, now we got Vi. Like, it's a great lineup. And
that's so cute.
Yeah, but, like, Mel's mother, on the other hand, has, like, a lot of guards, and also has, like, the entire little, like, mechanical and undead army that Victor has. So now we're at, like, the finale of the entire show, and it is the battle. And basically, those are the two sides. And now, Piltover and, like, Caitlin and Jace kind of have to beg the people of Zaun to come and help them defeat Mel's mother. And it's like, this entire show has been about how both of them hate each other. And, like, I think, personally, that they should have had more scenes of them begging. But, because I think they said yes way too quickly. But, anyway, they came over, and it is so beautiful. And so now we get, like, the gang is all together, guys, we're gonna fight. But it's like, you're fighting against Victor, though, but we love Victor. And
It's also sad.
Yeah, it's really upsetting. So we see that everyone in Zaun is either staying in Zaun or helping to go fight. And we see Jinx, who, in a manner of being really depressed, chops most of her hair off. It's very upsetting, because her hair has been a huge part of her personality up until now. And she is, like, standing on the edge of her little, like, fan thing, and she's, like, holding one of her bombs, and she leans and jumps off of the edge and pulls the trigger on the bomb, and as it's blowing up, you hear Echo say, "Wait," and he pulls his little time turner thing and pulls it back 4 seconds. And
Echo.
And he's like, no, stop. And then she pulls it again. And then he twists it again. And then he goes, let me just talk to you. And then she pulls it again. And, like, she's tried to, like, kill herself, like, 3 or 4 times now. And he keeps calling it back. He keeps being like, no, stop. And finally, he's like, Jinx, I need to talk to you. And he says, like, I talked to someone that, like, made me, like, believe that, like, there's more to you, and, like, I think, and, like, of course he's talking about the other powder, but yeah, he was, like, he basically convinces her to, like, not kill herself, and that she, like, is worthy of love, and all of that. Do we get to see that conversation? No, not really. Yeah, fantastic. He says, like, I learned something recently from someone, and then it cuts, and you're like, oh, okay, I guess I'll go fuck myself. But,
I wanted to see that, and I'm sad.
Yeah. But anyway, the battle is taking place, and basically they all have their plans. Like, Mel and Caitlin are gonna go after Mel's mom, because, I don't, like, very, kind of like, it's like Mel's mom's actual daughter, and then it's like the daughter she wanted, which was Caitlin. So it's a fun little fight. And, During this fight, like, they're both they're shooting, they're doing all this stuff, but she's, like, a great warrior, and, at some point, even, she's, like, holding I think a sword or a dagger over Caitlyn's eye, and Caitlyn's eye gets punctured, and she loses an eye. And everything is looking, like, really bad, like, after that, because obviously how can you fight after that? And they're, like, down on their knees, and there's, like, the warriors behind them, and there's, like, the people that are behind Mel's mom, and someone's, like, holding a gun to Caitlyn's head, and it goes up, and what do you see? You see a fuck-ass Bob, and it's that bitch, Maddie, who, like, literally is gonna stab Caitlyn in the back.
That
Crazy. Yeah, I was like, you know what, and I always hated her. And was it because I'm a diehard Vive fan? Yeah, but also I was right, and she was also evil. So
you're like, and see, now I have a reason.
Yeah, so, and I felt very, like, vindicated. And so yeah, everything is looking really, really bad. And Jace's plan is that he's gonna get to the Hex Core and destroy it. How, really, we don't really know. But he was like, I have to destroy it. Yeah. He's like, I'm gonna try and hit it, I guess, with my hammer. And yeah, it's absolutely crazy. So then, hold on. If I'm looking away, it's because I'm trying to pull up a monologue. So that I can get this correct. But when the time comes, so that I can really, like, hit this.
When the time comes.
But anyway, so yeah, that's his plan. And, all of a sudden, we hear, like, Jinx has a very specific song when she goes into battle. And we hear this song, because she, like, it's in the world. Like, she puts speakers on all of her stuff and will, like, blast music. And so she comes flying in on her, air balloon that she somehow got out of that ravine.
She's awesome.
And she spray painted it a bunch, and she cut her hair to look like Vi's. She put, like, colors in it. She's colorful again. It's very monumental. She's sitting in the chair, really cool. She looks awesome. And she, like, comes in, and everyone is really funny, because it's, like, usually when you see her in the show, you're like, oh, fuck. But, like, now everyone is like, that's kind of our hero right there. They're like, oh, God. And who comes in right behind her? Our man Echo and his fireflies on, their hoverboards. And they're so cool. I actually don't remember if they're fireflies or firelights, but I don't care.
Like Owl City.
And, yeah, but they come zooming in, and Echo and Jinx are in, they're both in these cute little crop tops, so they're kind of matching. Adorable. I love how they're like, yeah, we actually have to get, like, dolled up before going to battle. They're both, like, they're so dramatic, it's so cute. Hold on. I can't do two things at once. Okay, but, so yeah, that's, like, the whole, they come in, and they start just absolutely saving the day. It is, like, the coolest thing ever. They're, like, knocking,
we love to see
things out, like, left and right. It is just, like, the coolest, oh my God, I can't express enough. The fight scenes, specifically when Echo is fighting, is just the most beautiful thing you've ever seen in your life. And yeah, so did I get it? Did I find it? Oh, no.
And that's real.
And so basically so Jace is trying to, like, get through this battlefield to get to where he thinks like Victor is, or, like, the Machine Herald is. And he finally, like, gets there. Oh, what if I look up? Oh, never mind, I can't. I was about to be like, what if I play the audio? And then I was like, there's no way for me to play the audio and have both of you hear it at the same time.
True, probably.
But anyway, he, like, Jace finally gets to, he finally gets to where Victor is. And Jace is, like, really falling apart because he still has, like, a broken leg. So it's, like, it's not good. And, like, Echo's doing his thing, like, keeping all the men away from Jace. It's so amazing. And Jace, like, he's super, super tired, and he falls to his knees. And he realizes that he's in the exact same position that like, corpse of him was in the last world. And it's like, oh, God. Very worrisome. So, yeah. And he looks up at the Machine Herald, and he realizes, I'm trying to think what happens, but he looks up at him, and he somehow, like, shoots him in the face with his, like, crystal thing. And this is, like, he's, like, completely mechanical. But when he does that, he, like, breaks something in, Victor's, like, astral projection. And he can, like, see a bit of, like, the real Victor underneath. And he realizes that, like, he's still underneath there. And because this has, like, completely, like, taken over him. And like, the Machine Herald is kind of being, like, why... He literally says, like, Jace, why do you persist? Like, why do you keep being, like, you think there's, like, more to me? Like, why do you keep, like, trying to do all this? Like, what is in this for you? And Jace goes, because you told me to. And then we fucking get a flashback to the conversation that Jace had with that Victor, or with the mage in the other world, which was Victor.
What? What? Wait, what?
I know. So, we didn't see the mage's face before. He's cloaked. And so now, the cloak is drawn back, and we see that it's Victor, and we're like, what does this mean? And we see that this is, like, a Victor in kind of another world, another timeline, I guess.
Yeah.
And, like, that Victor, like, okay, hold on. So, he starts talking that, like, he can travel between worlds now, and, he can go forward, he can go backward in time, he is all-knowing, he is basically God. And he, like, has explored, like, a bunch of different timelines to, like, find a specific path where, where, like, they don't destroy the world together. And because there's some where, but basically he realizes that, like, and I'm trying to, the way that I can't find a single monologue. Did no one quote this?
I do have to shower.
No, I'm literally gonna be done at 10. And
time stamp for this podcast.
Yeah. Anyway, so basically he says that in all timelines across every universe, there was none that he didn't give Jace the crystal in the first place. And we find out that he was the mage that saved Jace's life, that started this entire thing. And yeah, very confusing. And Jace, like, and he tells Jace that, like, because of this, like, there's no way to stop the Arcane or the Hex Core unless both of us are destroyed. And so he says, like, you once promised another version of me that you were going to destroy it, and you need to go and, like, finish that promise. And that's why Jace goes and kills Victor, because Victor himself told him to go do that.
That's crazy.
And
I was not expecting that, I will say.
It was absolutely fucking insane. And then, hi, Gavin. Do you want to hear the end of this? And yeah, it was absolutely beautiful. And then Jace gives, like, a really, really good monologue where he says, like, you always saw yourself as broken, but, like, I never saw you like that, and you always wanted to fix yourself, but, like, there's beauty in imperfection, and, like, all of this. And then he says, like, let's end this the way we started, together. And then they touch foreheads and, like, dissolve into the universe, and it destroys all of the hex core everywhere. And that is how they win.
With the power of love.
With the power of love. They die in each other's arms, touching foreheads.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely beautiful. So then after that, the battle is basically, and Mel kills her mother. It's amazing.
Deserved.
And then, they basically win. God. I'm trying to, like, wrap this up. And, like, while that was happening, Vi and Jinx are trying to fight the monster version of Vander because the doctor, or, like, the scientist brings him back into this world, and they're trying to fight, and,
let this poor guy die at this point.
They're, like, in this, like, huge, long, it has a really long drop, is all you have to know. And, they're fighting, and ultimately, Jinx sacrifices herself, and she pushes Vi out of the way, and she jumps onto the monster, and Vi's trying to hold her hand, and there's, like, this moment where Jinx is like, you have to let me go, and,
I'm gonna cry.
She, like, slips off, and Jinx and Vander, as they're, like, falling down, like, Jinx, like, hugs him again as, like, the last time that she gets to, like, hug her dad, and then they both die. And that's how they end.
I'm so upset right now.
Yeah. And, like, it is absolutely insane. Like, I guess the ending is, like, Mel takes over, which is, like, as she should, and Caitlyn and Vi are together, but, like, Caitlyn's not neither of them are great. Like, it's not a happy ending, but it's, like, it's whatever, I guess.
Whatever.
It's, like, they're, at least they get to be together, but it's, like, Caitlyn, like, or no, Vi, like, has no family, and it's just, like, like, it's just, like, the last thing that Jinx did that wasn't, like, fucking insane was, like, sacrificing herself for her sister. It was crazy.
Wow, that was devastating.
It was devastating, and then you get, like, this...
Do you play League of Legends?
No. Not whatsoever. And then you get, like, a beautiful scene where Echo is, like, sitting on the ledge overlooking Zahn, where he had kissed the powder version of her, and he's sitting there, and it's just, like, so sad, because now he's sitting there by himself, and everybody in Piltover are, like, have, like, the names of people who have died, and they're, like, lighting them on fire and, like, putting them up in the sky, and, like, he has one for Jinx, and it's just, like, absolutely devastating, and that's how the show ends.
That's horrible. Thank you so much. That's horrible.
Yeah.
I don't need to watch.
Yeah, I mean, Gavin, you can still watch it, but, like, Ava knows everything now. Like,
that was so sad. Like,
do you understand why I was like, I need to be able to mention this to people? I was like, this is actually insane.
I think it was a good resolution of their characters, but it's still so sad. Like, it's well done, but I'm upset.
Yeah, it is a good, like, we were making bets that we were like, I think more than half of the characters are gonna have to die, because it's like most of the characters are against each other, so it wasn't very, like, it was very confusing. We were like, they can't all have a happy ending. But yeah, Jace and Victor and Jinx and Vander, it's just crazy. And the fact that, like, the last battle other than Jace and Victor was between like Mel, her mother, and Caitlyn, and then Vi and Vander and Jinx. So, like, a mother versus two daughters, and then Vander versus his two daughters. Oh!
That's so sad.
It's heartbreaking. Yeah. Anyway, I wasn't expecting this to go 2 hours. You are an absolute gem of a person.
No, I'm just, like, actually so sad. Like, I was kind of, like, invested. I feel horrible for Vi that she lost her sister and her dad.
I know.
Her dad, like,
it's
3
so
times.
sad. It's, yeah, I'm so pissed off about the whole Vander line. I'm like, just let him be happy.
He's back. No, he's not. He's back.
No, I'm literally like, let this man rest. Let him rest. You would love Vander. I feel like if you have, like, slight daddy issues, we fight for this man. Yeah. No, I can't wait. Anyway, I don't know if you watched the other edits I sent you. I
watched one of them, and then finals has been not a fun time.
Oh, I know. Anyway, I probably have like 2 or 3. I'll keep it below 5. It's like I'll send you maximum 5. But
I get to see the sad ones, which I am like excited about. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the right word.
All right, I love you so much. I'll see you later. Have fun at court tomorrow.
I will. Happy birthday, Amanda.
Oh yeah. Okay. Bye.
Bye.